What time is it? Say it's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. That's right. It's time for KP's Video News, y'all. And it's the Funk Groove. That's right. So I'm gonna dive right into these stories here, because all of these stories are follow-ups, and they're all serious stories. So the first follow-up is about Oluwatoyin SALAU, and she was and her friend Victoria Sims, that was Black Lives Matter activists in Florida, and they ended up getting killed. And a few weeks ago. So anyway, the man allegedly admits kidnapping, sexually assaulting Black Lives Matter before killing two of them. In the newly released court documents, authorities in Florida allege Aaron Glee Jr. confessed several times to kidnapping and murdering Black Lives Matter activists Oluwatoyin SALAU and her longtime volunteer Victoria Sims, two women who recently befriended each other during demonstrations over police brutality and systematic racism. Glee's arrest report, which was obtained, alleged that the 49-year-old spoke to police after waiving his right to remain silent. He is charged with 2 counts of murder and kidnapping and one count of sexual assault. According to the report, Glee confessed to the crimes on multiple occasions and provided details to them in both Tallahassee, where the crimes occurred, and on separate days in Orlando, where he was eventually apprehended by officers. Police say Glee claimed to have met SALAU, a student and a protester active in the Black Lives Matter movement, on June 6, hours before she said she was sexually assaulted. The two men met at a bus stop in Tallahassee, and he claims she confided in him, which he described in a series of Twitter posts. And she said that SALAU allegedly told Glee she had no place to stay, and he offered her to take her back to his home where she could bathe and sleep. According to police, Glee called Sims, who he knew from volunteer work, and who he said would occasionally give him rides and bring him meals. Sims picked them both up in her white Toyota sedan and drove them to Glee's home, where he dropped him off. She dropped him off, and reporting the case, video footage from the bus station confirms Glee's version of the event. Soon after they arrived at his home, Glee told investigators SALAU took a shower afterwards. According to the report, he tried to have sex with her, but she refused and resisted, fighting him off. He stated that she physically resisted him and that she bit him on his right forearm during the struggle. Police alleged that he then confessed to overpowering her and raping her before tying her up. According to the report, Glee kept SALAU in prison in his home for 3 to 5 days, untying her only for meals and to bathe. Police say he admitted to sexually assaulting her numerous times during those 3 to 5 days. Because he has a criminal record, Glee allegedly said he realized he'd likely end up in prison if he let her go, and eventually confessed that after SALAU died, he kidnapped Sims, the lady that dropped her off, binding her with rope as well. Investigators believe he ransacked her apartment before kidnapping her and fleeing in her car, which was found outside Glee's home, stuck in the mud. Man, this guy was sick, man. I don't even want to finish that story, but anyway, he's under arrest, and the sick person, man. He killed 2 people, killed 2 women, and oh God, I mean, this is young people, man. I mean, it just crazy, man, just totally crazy. I'm gonna move on to my second story. Second story. The police in Louisville police fire Brett Hankinson, officer in the Breonna Taylor shooting. Police chief said Ms. Hankinson wantonly and blindly fired 10 rounds into Ms. Taylor's apartment on the night she was killed. The Louisville Metropolitan Police Department on Tuesday fired one of 3 officers involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor, the most significant action yet in a case that has drawn public outrage for the killing and the fact that no criminal charges have been filed. In a termination letter posted on the department's Twitter account, Chief Robert Schroeder accused the former officer Brett Hankinson of violating its policy on the use of deadly force, saying he wantonly and blindly fired 10 shots into Ms. Taylor's apartment on March 13th. After Ms. And it's so far they haven't been charged with anything. The 3 cops that Fired, they haven't been charged. However, Hankinson has been fired. The other officers that tore Ms. Taylor's apartment, where no drugs were found, those officers John Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, have been placed on administrative reassignment. Details of the shooting took months to emerge, but recently revelations from the police department suggest that Mr. Hankinson acted recklessly by shooting through a patio door and a window that had an obstructed view. Some of the rounds he fired went into a neighbor's apartment and endangered the lives of 3 people, according to Tuesday's letter. And Chief Schroeder wrote that Hankinson's conduct was a shock to the conscience and that his actions discredited the police department. Wow, discredit the police department. What about the life that was lost by him shooting blindly into somebody's apartment, man? Just shooting in. You got people kicking in the door on the front end, and then you shooting in through the back of the house. Absolutely crazy. And we got a historic moment here. Got a historic moment. Yep, we got a historic moment. Georgia legislature passes the hate crime bill. Yep. All right, so they finally signed the crime bill. Georgia legislature on Tuesday afternoon passed a hate crimes bill that would now head to the desk of Governor Brian Kemp. If signed into law, Georgia would no longer be among 4 states without hate crime legislation on its books. Advocates and lawmakers renewed their push to pass the bill after the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, a 25-year-old black man pursued by 2 white men and shot dead while jogging through a Brunswick neighborhood on February 23rd. The bill, HB 426, passed the state Senate by a 47-6 vote and the state House by a 127-38 vote. Kemp's office said in the statement released, and it stated that the Anti-Defamation League, which has pushed for hate crime law in the state for decades, stated that they were thrilled with the bill's passage. Both chambers, both sides of the aisle, are standing up to bias and bias-motivated crimes and saying they want to protect their citizens. South Carolina, Wyoming, and Arkansas remain the only 3 states in the whole, out of all the 50 states, that don't have hate crime laws. That's South Carolina, Wyoming, and Arkansas. Wow. So some advocates, including the ADL, also include Indiana on the list, calling the law passed in that state last year problematically broad. So it's a crazy situation, man. Crazy situation. Finally, and to add to that, over in Georgia, this situation over in Georgia there, you know, we have a you know, this is breaking news. Cobb County DA announces murder indictments on the 3 men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. That's right, they've been indicted, people. So they've been indicted. The 3 men charged in the death of Ahmaud Arbery were indicted today. on multiple charges. Cobb County District Attorney Joyette Holmes said during a press conference the indictment formally charges each of the 3 defendants with 9 counts: malice murder, felony murder 4 counts, aggravated assault 2 counts, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit false imprisonment. This is another step forward in seeking justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Our team from the Cobb Judicial Circuit has been committed to effectively bringing forward the evidence in this case, and today was no exception. We will continue to be intentional in the pursuit of justice for this family and the community at large as the prosecution of this case continues. Arbery was killed February 23rd when a white father and son armed themselves and pursued the 25-year-old black man after spotting him running in their neighborhood just outside the port city of Brunswick, Georgia. Gregory McMichael, 64, Travis McMichael, 34, were arrested on May 7th on charges of felony murder and aggravated assault. Their neighbor, 50-year-old William Bryan, was later charged with felony murder and criminal attempt to commit false imprisonment. Bryan is the man whose cell phone video of the shooting, which leaked online before the McMichael's arrest, ignited a national outcry over the case. Gregory McMichael told the police he suspected Arbery was a burglar and that Arbery attacked his son right before being shot. Arbery's family has said he was merely out jogging. Bryan's attorney has insisted his client played no role in Arbery's death, and the arrest for Bryan says he used the vehicle to illegally try to confine and detain Arbery, and he was the same. That was the guy that actually pinned him in and hemmed him in with his vehicle, while the other 2 guys rolled up on their vehicle and eventually end up shooting and killing the unarmed black jogger. So that's 3 people down. You know, well, I don't even want to even call them people, but they've been indicted. That's right. The 3 killers of Ahmaud Arbery have been indicted, and they have been formally charged. All total, that was, how many charges were that all total? There's a lot of charges. Let me see. 9 counts. That's 9 charges. So, hey, good riddance. Get them off the streets. They don't deserve to be on the street. Criminals, criminals, criminals.
What time is it? Say it's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News.
KP's Video News, yo.
It's KP's Video News, yo.
That's right, folks.
It's KP's Video News, yo.
Peace.